Welcome, Cure fans, to another episode of the Holy Hour. Let us pray. It is time as we gather in the Church of Cure to pay our respects to the great legendary rock band The Cure, and we have a very special episode for you today. This is in fact the Halloween episode. Yes, I don't normally care about holidays so much. Don't really have too many favorite holidays. Memorial Day is a good one because everybody you need to acknowledge is dead pretty much, so it doesn't matter. You don't have to buy them presents or anything. Just can quietly pay your respects and have a good time. But the number one holiday has got to be Halloween. It's so fun. I don't know why I love it so much. I guess I always loved the idea of dressing up. I got a big sweet tooth, but I'm not a huge candy guy. Even as a kid, I never really flipped out for the candy aspect so much as just the chance to wear a cool costume. And I always feel like I kind of got gypped on Halloween a little bit as a kid. I had older brothers, and most of my friends were their friends, so it was the older friends. So by the time they got a little too cool for school and didn't want to do Halloween anymore, I was still pretty young, so I didn't really get to do too many Halloweens as a kid. And it came back with vengeance, though. As I got a little older, we like to throw a party every year, and at least for a few years there, we'd always go out and have a good time dressed up in awesome costumes. I always like to be a specific person. It's like music snobbery. In my older years now, I've come to just respect a generic costume. If it's what the person wants and it makes them happy, fine. There's nothing wrong with a generic vampire, I guess. But to me, I always feel like it has to be specific, like a character or something. So, I've gotten over that. I don't hold it against people, but I still know what I like. And I like specific things. So, Halloween's a big deal around our house. And, so I figured, what the hell? The Cure and Halloween go hand in hand. I'm not really sure why. It's gotta do with the gothy image, I guess. Some kind of spooky undertones of everything. But as a Cure fan, and you really see what they're about, there's really nothing particularly spooky about the band. They don't have very many scary songs, even. How I wanted to honor the Halloween holiday by doing an episode. The obvious choice would be like some kind of count down the top 5 spookiest Cure songs. But I mean, that's a pretty no-brainer kind of list, really. We could sum that up in like 5 seconds. I made a quick list for you here, just for the record. I would have put Kyoto song, maybe number 5. There's some weird shit in that song. Death in a pool, a little weird. Number 4, Subway song. Has a nice little creeper element to it, a little stalker feel to it. 3, I just put the whole album of Pornography, because spooky or not, there's all kinds of creepy shit going on in that album. So just pick any song. They all fit the bill. 2 would probably be Burn. But even that, it's only really because of the Crow reference stuff. So, I mean, if you take all the Crowness out of it, it's not really too haunting of a song, really. It's just awesome. And number 1, Lullaby. Giant crazy spider. Pretty scary. Surprise, surprise, coming in at number 1, Lullaby. So I don't know. I mean, there's just nothing really scary about The Cure for that aspect. Robert himself, I've showed images to my 3-year-old and soon to be 4-year-old kid, and he doesn't even really get scared by him or anything. Maybe the video for Lullaby would creep him out a bit, and the video for Never Enough maybe. But I mean, he's just too lovable to be anything too creepy or scary, So I don't know if it really fits the bill. So how am I going to honor this wonderful holiday with this wonderful band when they clearly go hand in hand, but we don't really know why? But I'm just going to boil it down to the dressing up aspect. I love costumes, like I said, and there's a lot of people, myself included, that have dressed up as Robert Smith or somebody from The Cure, or just a Cure-like member even over the years. I mean, he's even written songs about people dressing up like him and such. So, I mean, there's something there, and I think we've all done it. So I thought it'd be a fun way to share our Robert Smith's dress-up stories for Halloween. And whether it's Halloween related or not, I think we've all done it. We've all kind of snuck into our mom's makeup kit at one point or another as a kid, or just got a little carried away with your own makeup kit, maybe. So, yeah, I figured I'd kick it off and share a few stories. This would be a fairly short episode, probably, but we did have some great write-ins that I'll also read to you. But I'll kick it off just with a few related Robert Smith dress-up moments in my life. So my first one goes way back to 1989. It'd have to be probably 89, I'd say. The year I first met Donald. And we were in the same class, and we had to do book reports, actually. And so my book report was on the Cure visual documentary book, right? And so I had to clearly dress up as Robert for that. And keep in mind, this is 1989, sixth grade kid, rural Virginia. Wasn't that excited to smear lipstick all over my face, if you will, at that time. I should have been braver, but I knew my battles, and that was not going to be one of them. So, but I was smart about it, right? I just wore my blue long sleeve button-up shirt, buttoned it up all the way, and stuck my hair up. Didn't really put on any makeup, but just went for the 17 seconds era. So my hair was more that length around then anyway. So it worked out great. And all I had to do was talk in a little British accent and say, hello, my name's Robert. And it worked out wonderfully. And I got to be my hero without getting beaten up for the rest of my middle school and high school career. So Donald, I recall, was Bruce Springsteen from his book report. So he rocked a awesome Bruce Springsteen white t-shirt, jeans. I think he had the red headband going and everything. Brought in a guitar, and in true Donald fashion, cracked up the class, got them all rolling with the obvious line. The partner that was interviewing him was somebody that said, "So where were you born?" "Me? I was born in the USA." Sixth grade kids everywhere going ape shit. Don brought down the house with that joke. So even back then, the bad boy was cracking them up. So yeah, so I got to pull off some kind of Robert experience at least. My next one came shortly after that, and it was actually Halloween. I decided somehow by seeing the In Between Days video that it'd be really kick-ass to paint my face, the day glow faces, from the video. So I needed bright fluorescent green face paint. And so I put that all on and had some of the neighborhood girls help me out with my hair and that. And of course the paint wasn't fluorescent or bright enough. It all kind of mixed together. Didn't even really look like the same application as in the video. It was basically just a swirly mess. I'd also not taken into mind that I'd have to have my eyes closed the whole time to do that properly. Generally not a good idea to walk around on your street with your eyes closed all night. I wasn't the brightest kid. Still not the brightest dude, but, that's a whole other story. So it pretty much just turned into a big mess on my face. I think even pretty early into the evening, I just threw an army jacket on and turned myself into a jacked up zombie or something like that, one of those deals. So that was definitely falls into the Robert Smith dress up fail category. After that, it was probably more just random nights, like I think a lot of us had, where, weren't really going out, weren't really doing anything that weekend. You kind of say, hey, I kind of wonder what I'd look like dressed up like Robert Smith. You spray up your hair with all the Aquanet you could find. And I always found it, I'm sure the ladies had better ways of doing it. I never quite understood teasing your hair and how to do that properly. But I would just turn my head upside down and spray it with Aquanet until it was all sticking straight up, and then just crunch and break down pieces from there. That usually worked the best for me. And then they just raid mom's makeup there, and it's tough when you got older brothers and concerned parents. They don't know what's going on, Luckily I had the posters all over my wall, so I think they saw what I was going for. But we're still incredibly understanding, and I remember my mom saying, if you're going to do that, at least don't use the expensive stuff. So she would give me her less expensive lipstick to smear all over my face for a couple hours, because it's hard to wash the eye makeup off. The lipstick you can usually wash off pretty quick if the brothers come in, they'd be like, "What the hell are you doing, man?" But so yeah, many a nights of that, and that was pretty much it for a while until about high school. I got into this drama program, and we ended up doing sketches for elementary school kids, and there was a small group of us. A couple of us were Cure fans, and I think we were doing like some kind of fairy tales or stories of, children's stories for these kids, and one of them was the Three Little Bears or whatever, and so I was like, well, if I'm gonna dress up like a bear, I'm definitely gonna, do a nod to Robert Smith and paint my nose black like the "Why Can't I Be You" video and be a bear. So of course I did that, and it all worked fine, and I was a pretty convincing bear, I think. But part of it didn't dawn on me. I got a little nervous and rolling with the sketches from one to the other. After I quickly changed costumes from the bear to the dashing prince, I didn't realize for the whole rest of the show I still had a brown bear nose. So yeah, everybody was fairly nice about it. I think only one person called me out and be like, "Why do you have a brown nose through the whole thing?" I was like, oops. So that would probably fall into the fail category as well. So yeah, aside from that though, in high school I never was brave enough. It's one of my big regrets. I probably should have more, but I definitely should have more. But I wish I would have kind of donned that persona a bit more, because I feel like it was a little bit more me in high school. But I was just kind of a quiet kid that wanted to fly under the radar. And as I hinted at earlier, just that time. Maybe it's easier now. We've kind of touched on this with the cure oppression topics, but I don't think it would have gone over too well in my county in Virginia. Me just sitting in the middle of the class with giant head on the door sized hair and eye makeup and lipstick. And, I didn't want to draw that kind of attention to myself as much as it was part of who I wanted to be and respected. So it was a little sad. I wish I should have rocked that on. So to all of you out there that did, all the power to you. I'm glad you did it. I'd have my little subtle nods to Robert Smith, which fashion-wise were a disaster if you don't go the full 9 yards with it. But I remember in high school I'd always wear the bigger the better puffy high tops, and that was definitely me trying to find the perfect Robert Smith shoes. So I'd just be like this kind of jean wearing puffy shoed guy with usually a flowery shirt at times, which was another nod to Robert Smith, like around mixed up era, that roses, white and black one that he'd always wear with the flowers all over it. And around the early 90s too, it was like really cool to have like paisley, whatever the hell, flowery shirts a lot of dudes are wearing. So and that kind of blended in, but at the same time, that's what I was going for. But when you're just like a dude with like at best slicked back, trying to be Christian Slater hair, or Morrissey if I got a little more pompadour going with it, James Dean style, that with a flowery shirt and big Nike high tops, pretty bad combo. But that was me, and it was enough to fly under the radar, I guess. I made it out unscathed, so I guess the initial point was made, so who knows. But a little sad, because I wouldn't really rock much Cure look until much later. I remember just random nights of hanging out in the basement playing music with my brother, and then future wife would come over. I think her sister came down once. We watched Trilogy and stuff, and we'd rock all the makeup and stick our hair up. My hair was getting pretty crappy by that point, and wouldn't even consider it a justifiable Robert Smith impersonation, just more of like a nondescript roadie or something, But that's what I was going for, I guess. And then the last real attempt, I guess, would be a tribute band thing that we did here in Asheville around 2009-ish, maybe. I mentioned it in the episode with Ryan there, and we basically you'd get like four songs at a benefit show here, and we got musicians from around town and ourselves, and we did The Cure. And the dressing up side of it was always kind of optional and loose, so nobody really took it too seriously, but I got some awesome shoes for that and stuck up the hair. I still laid off on the lipstick, I think, but rocked the eye makeup. And that was kind of a nice, sincere one, but again, just being older and very un-Robert Smithy hair at this point, unfortunately, in my life. So that ship has sailed, and but you know what? I've decided exclusive here on the Holy Hour that this year, it's been a very Cure-heavy year. My wife is getting sick of them to the point where I can't even play them around her anymore because I'm constantly talking about the Cure for the sake of the show and the tour that just happened. And I figured this is a good year to do it. Why not? So I'm going to have to get a wig, unfortunately. I don't like wearing wigs, but I just picked one up today. I think I can make it work. I like nothing like Robert Smith, but it'll be fun to try to match something to that era of the size of the hair that I can work up. So might resort to wearing a hockey jersey or something along those lines. I'm not quite sure what era I'm gonna be in, but I'm doing it. What the fuck? Why not? Right? He's every year I kind of pick one of my film heroes or somebody from my life, and it's about time I pay my respects to my hero of heroes, Robert Smith. But enough of my babbling of Halloween costumes. How about I read a few write-ins for this week? We got some good stories to pull up from Cure fans out there, listeners that wanted to share their Halloween and Cure dress-up moments. All right, this one's from Cindy. She writes in. She sent in a photo too, so check out the Facebook page and the thread there, the Holy Hour Facebook page, and you can see the photo that she sent in and what she's talking about here. So it says, "Hey Gavin, I was in 8th grade in this photo, which was 1989. I already had Robert Smith hair normally, but for Halloween decided to paint a spider web on my face and go extra pale for school that day. I also covered my face with fake spiders and put plastic spiders in my big aqua-netted hair. I think I went a bit crazy with the whole Cure thing at this point in time, since the band had just rolled through Denver on the Prayer Tour on September 4th, 1989. I had a ticket, but my parents grounded me from going because I was too young. I spent several hours going through the yellow pages and calling every hotel in Denver asking, 'Is Mr. Robert James Smith staying there tonight?' I still have my unused ticket. My mom eventually made up for this in 1992 and allowed me to see 2 Wish tour shows, and she has since been dragged to at least 5 Cure shows in 5 different cities herself. So while I'm still a little sad that I missed the fucking Prayer Tour, I can't hold it against her anymore." So thank you so much, Cindy. Man, that would hurt to have a Prayer Tour ticket and not be able to go. As I told in an earlier episode, perhaps the first one even, I was in 6th grade in 1989 and just wasn't bright enough to know the right place to look for concert listings. But I was keeping my eye out. I knew that the album was out and that they're going to be touring. And I just kept looking and looking in the wrong place and had a moment where an 8th grade girl walked by in middle school wearing a Prayer Tour t-shirt. I was like, oh my God. 1, that's an awesome shirt. 2, how did I miss it? I missed the whole damn tour. And it broke my heart. So I can only imagine how much it would have hurt to have a ticket even and not been able to go. But it sounds like you did make up for it. That's awesome. You get to share not one, but just a few, many concert experiences with your mom. That's awesome. I wish I'd had that experience. And it does sound like she made up for it. So that's good to hear. But yeah, this picture's awesome. Go check it out on the Facebook page. She really rocked it great. There's a little picture of the whole getup that she's talking about down the corner, so make sure you zoom in on it. And then there's a picture of her with the cobweb on her face there, with the makeup on her face of a cobweb. And she's wearing her In-Between Days shirt and in front of the poster that I'm sure we all had of Robert extra pale and wearing the black leather jacket with the blue button-up shirt, Disintegration era. So yeah, just that picture, there's like so many things that bring back memories. Pretty awesome. So thanks so much for sharing, Cindy. This one's from Lisa. She says, "Hello, I was invited to a Halloween party about 10 years ago. And when it came time to choosing my costume, I immediately thought about dressing as Robert Smith. I was never into the traditional costume ideas that most people go with. I'm a weirdo, and I'm 100% okay with that. I once dressed as Martin Gore from a specific tour they did, and literally nobody knew who I was. Anyway, that's not why I'm here. So I decided to dress as Robert, and so I went out and got some black jeans and a long black dress shirt. I already had the white runners. I obviously couldn't find a black wig quite like his hair. I had blonde hair at the time, so my hair wouldn't do. I found just a normal black wig and fixed it myself. I cut it and teased it so it stuck out like his. The night of the party, I got ready with my black makeup and red lipstick, literally the only reason I'd ever wear red lipstick, and waited for my ride. My sister walked in the house as I was waiting and stopped dead in her tracks. She was a little shocked by my outfit, but after a few seconds, she just looked at me and said, "You're such a weirdo," and walked out of the room. My friend picked me up, and we headed to the party. Incidentally, when I told her I was going as Robert Smith, she decided to join me in the theme and went as Boy George. We got to the party and nobody knew who I was. I actually got Edward Scissorhands most of the night. Everybody knew who she was, of course. Even after explaining who it was, I got the odd, "Ah, okay," but nobody fully appreciated it. Guess that's what happens in a room full of sexy cats and pirates. I loved my costume, though. I was just at the wrong party. And I agree. Your costume is awesome. And you nailed it, Lisa. So it was definitely the wrong party. That's definitely one of the tougher parts of Halloween, when you get an awesome costume going and it's just the people aren't catching it. I hate that. I can see how Edward Scissorhands would definitely be annoying as well. I've had a few over the years, in later years even, when we go out or just have big parties where felt like I nailed every little detail. I did a Crocodile Dundee one, and I got a lot of, "What are you, Indiana Jones?" No, I got crocodile teeth on my hat. When did Indiana Jones ever have crocodile teeth on his hat? Did Mad Max one time, and people were like, "Mad Max, the wrestler?" I think there's like a pro wrestler or something named Mad Max. Like, no, I got a bunch of other weird ones with Mad Max. I can't even remember. But yeah, it's frustrating when people don't quite catch what it is after you put all this respect, especially when you nail it like this. But again, go to the Facebook page, check out Lisa's picture. You'll see what I mean. And she's the inspiration for this year's Halloween costume for me. I was like, that's a great idea. Even if the wig's kind of stupid looking, you can modify it, because it's never going to quite look like Robert's. But she did a great job with hers, and that's what I'm going to try for. I'll try to enlist my wife to help me out, too, and just trim little parts and do some of this teasing stuff and maybe just spray the actual wig to give it that signature Robert crunchy look, And hopefully I can pull it off. But she did great, so thanks for being the inspiration for me finally trying Robert Smith. All right, our final write-in today comes in from Bonnie from Florida. And Bonnie writes, "I am an elementary school teacher, and every year a Teacher of the Year event is held. It's a big party with every school in the district in attendance. Each teacher nominee has a theme chosen for them. They tell you the theme, and the school staff comes to the party dressed up to match the chosen theme. A couple of years ago, the theme was 80s, and everybody was talking about dressing up in hairband rock or neon 80s attire. I decided that I would do neither, and that I would pay homage to my favorite band of the 80s and all time, through all the decades, The Cure. I had never teased my hair before, and tried my best. How does he do that anyways? I got a lot of weird looks and stares, but I didn't care. I had a lot of fun. If you haven't dressed up yet as Robert Smith, I highly recommend it, at least once in your life. Bonnie." Thank you. Thanks so much for Bonnie. And she sent in a picture as well and looks awesome. She nailed it. Has the bright red lipstick going too. So check that out on the Facebook site. Say hi to Bonnie's picture over there. But yeah, I guess I was assuming that everybody's done this at one point or another if you're a Cure fan. But yeah, I guess if you haven't yet tried to dress up as Robert Smith or something in the vein of, what are you waiting for? Of course, do it. It's liberating. Get out there. Be a freak. Be one of the weirdos that would freak him out if he saw him. But I mean, it's a very distinct look he's got going, and it's worked for him over the years. Very few bands you see somebody and you go, "Oh yeah, that's definitely The Cure." If you know The Cure and know Robert Smith and what he looks like. So I don't know. I think it's cool, and I think everybody should give it a shot. There should be a whole themed party of everybody at the parties just dressed like Robert Smith. How cool would that be if everybody chose different little subtle details from all the different eras, and you just had a whole room full of Robert Smiths? It doesn't even have to be Robert Smith. It could be all the Cure member mixed up too. That would be pretty awesome. Have all these different forms of Simon in there, and Pearl and Lowell, and all the whole gang in there. They all have distinct looks. So that would be pretty awesome, don't you think? It'd be like when you go to a show and there's like tour shirts from all the different ages in there mixed together. So get all the freaks together. Let's do it. I don't know what the hell we would be celebrating, but it would be a great time. And might be a little hard to breathe in there with all the Aquanet and can't see much. Hopefully there's no low ceiling fans or anything like that. All right, guys, I guess that about wraps it up. I've got Halloween on the brain now. I can't concentrate. I got to get this damn costume together. And I hope you guys have a great time out there. Eat lots of candy, drink lots of red wine, be safe, have fun. Send in some pictures if any of you out there dressed up as Robert Smith or anyone from The Cure at this point. And we'd love to attach them to the thread here, or even if you missed the call out for this one and have a story to share about dressing up as a kid or as an adult, as Robert Smith or as Perry or as anybody, just send them our way. We love to hear this stuff. And you can find us, subscribe on iTunes, and like I said, the Facebook page. Go over there and like that, and Instagram. You can find us at the Holy Hour Podcast on Instagram. I'm going to try to throw more feelers out on Instagram too for upcoming topics like this. So keep your ears and eyes peeled to Instagram for little updates on what's on the horizon and if you want to participate, because that'd be fun, right? So yeah, you can just record a little message in your phone and or write in, as these awesome ladies did today. Speaking of which, I'd like to once again thank our listeners that contributed this episode. Bonnie from Florida, and Lisa and Cindy for writing in and sending in pictures. And we'll post all those on the Facebook Holy Hour page, as I stated earlier. Also, be sure to check out Cindy's business website. It's called mixedupgifts.com. And it's a really awesome website where you can buy cool little crafts and creative little everything. There's a little bit of everything on this website. And the idea is you can put them all together like a gift basket, like all those cool gift basket ideas you see, but it's usually dumb shit in it, right? Like fruitcake and stuff. But here you can fill it with amazing cool stuff. A lot of it's kind of like alternative music based or just cool designs. And just glancing at the web page here, there's like little tapes that are flash drives you can buy. Tote bags, all kinds of cool tote bags. There's one of the Butcher Billy design from the comic book Cure stuff that were mentioned in earlier episodes, the Friday I'm in Love, where it's got the Jason mask on there. So they got those. The Morrissey vegan cookbook that has illustrations by Autumn Zing, who was on an episode just a couple episodes back. It's called Defensive Eating with Morrissey, and it has great illustrations and vegan recipes that have some good Morrissey references in there. So it's not all Cure stuff either. It's a little of everything, even though there's some great Cure stuff. There's a little pin of Robert Smith's head from the South Park episode. Looking at a Danzig pin. There's all kinds of stuff. Susie patches and pins. Cool Ian Curtis is Hungry t-shirt. I may sound like a crazy man, but that's how like vast and amazingly cool this website is. So go on over to mixedupgifts.com and check out all the cool stuff there. Christmas is just around the corner, and this is the kind of shit I would flip out for if somebody were to purchase these things for me for Christmas. So I'll try to spread the word to my family and friends. Hint, hint. And I think I'll be buying some stuff for friends too on here. It's a great website, so go check it out. And they're on Instagram as well. So go over to, once again, mixedupgifts.com and continue to check out Arusha's upcoming film at Cure Fan Documentary, where you can find all the social media outlets there and check up on updates on that as well. And drop her a few dollars in the donation bucket so we can see where this film coming. There's bound to be lots of Robert Smith lookalikes in that film that she made over the years. It'd be cool to document how these Cure fans are looking at the crowd. These last tour, I didn't really see too many people dressed up anymore, but there's still a few. You'll see them, and they're the diehards, I guess, the regulars that wear the Robert look all the time. But for us, Halloween's around the corner. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna go dig in. So thanks so much for listening. You are now excused from the Church of the Holy Hour Cure Temple of whatever the fuck I'm talking about. And yeah, we'll talk hard. Peace be with you, and also with you. Happy Halloween, suckers.